Hey, so it turns out that Biden didn't actually want to take your AR-15s away. It's just that he wanted to take your AR-14s away. He is a totally stable, super healthy, very fit to be the next president of the United States. He just wants to take away your AR-14s. Okay, so today a video went viral of Joe Biden talking to a union worker, and basically the interaction went that the guy came up to him and confronted him about his policies on the Second Amendment and guns and taking these guns away from us. And Joe Biden clearly is not all there. He said a couple things, but we're just gonna kind of watch this video and I'll do a little bit of my live reaction to it. So starting off this video, it's between this man on the left and Joe Biden here. Off camera, there is one of his handlers, I guess you could call them. Basically just one of his staffers that follows him around and makes sure he doesn't sniff women's hair or touch little children. You know, just creepy Joe things. So we're gonna watch this first part of him interacting with Joe.
How you intend on getting the union vote when there is a large portion of the union workers that are gun enthusiasts and you are actively trying to diminish your Second Amendment right?
So that's a pretty good point. I mean, he's coming to these union meetings and it's clearly a bunch of blue-collar workers, and if we know a thing or two about blue-collar workers, they might be the kind of people that own guns. Maybe not the best crowd for him to be interacting with the public. He clearly needs a handler to feed him lines, and if he doesn't get fed lines, and even when he does, he's probably going to end up messing those up. So I don't know why they would let him loose in a situation like this. But let's hear what Joe has to say.
Take away our guns.
You're full of shit.
All right, thank you.
You're full of shit. Are you shitting me? In the age of the internet, when everything is public and everything can be viewed at a moment's notice, I could look up 15 different videos right now of Joe Biden on many instances saying that he's going to take your guns away, or that when he's asked, are you going to be taking people's weapons of war? Are you going to be taking people's AR-15s? He says, bingo, or saying that yes, they're going to do it. He's appointing the guy that said, hell yes, we're going to take your AR-15s and your AK-47s, he's appointing him as the guy that's going to be in charge of his gun control policy? Yeah, I'm sure this guy's full of shit and not Joe Biden.
No, shush. Shush. I support the Second.
To those of you that don't know what's going on here, he just, after his female staffer went up to him and said, hang on, like, we're done here, he pointed at her and shushed her. He shushed a grown adult. He literally looked at this woman and said, shush, shush. This man clearly does not respect whammon, all right? And we need to elect people that respect whammon.
Second Amendment, just like right now, if you yell fire, that's not free speech. And from the very beginning, I have a shotgun, I have a...
So let's talk about that, the whole yelling fire and free speech thing. Yelling fire in a crowded movie theater is a common example of when people talk about things you're not allowed to do with your First Amendment. And that is an example of an improper use of that right. So in the same way that it's an improper use to cause pandemonium or slander or tell lies about people to damage someone's character, it's also not illegal to use the guns in a improper manner. So we already have the same exact laws. If you're looking at the kinds of laws that would say you can't use your First Amendment in this way because it causes damage, we also can't murder people with our guns. We can't shoot people. We can't discharge firearms in unsafe ways within city limits. There's already laws for that. So if he's trying to make an equivalency between the two of those and how they get limited, they already have the same limitations. So I don't know what he's talking about.
20 gauge, a 12 gauge, my son's hunt, guess what? You're not allowed to own any weapon.
So right here, he does the classic FUD move. He says, I own guns. I've talked about this before in my Worst Gun Owners, where we talk about the types of FUDs that say, you don't need an AR-15 for hunting. The Second Amendment doesn't mean you get 100-round mags. And right here, he says that you don't need any weapons. Like, he's saying that you can't have any weapons, but then saying he respects the Second Amendment and that he owns a shotgun. So either he's not coherent and has no idea what he's actually saying, or he knows what he's saying, and what he means is that he thinks that you should have these guns that are ineffective for fighting a tyrannical government and for overthrowing tyrannical oppression. But the only people that should be allowed to have true weapons, as he seems to believe they are the government, the kinds of people that would impose that types of tyranny on you anyway. So let's continue.
I'm not taking your gun away at all. You need 100 rounds.
So when you were in Beto, when you said you're going to take our guns,
so he says, you don't need 100 rounds. So the word need, people keep saying, you don't need this, you don't need that. You don't need 100 rounds for hunting. Maybe not for the kind of hunting that you're thinking, but I'm sure some people could bring up some examples of types of hunting they might be wanting to do with a 100-round mag.
I did not say that. That's not true. I did not say that.
it's a viral video.
It's a viral video like...
Right here, we could see it right in his face. This man has no idea what's going on. This is a delusional man. You ever get in an argument with one of your grandparents and they kind of just go a little crazy and batshit? This is exactly what I see going on here. He has no idea what he's talking about. He doesn't remember the conversations he just had. How do you not remember a policy point that you have harped on for years and years and years? This man has made a campaign about gun control for the last 16 years, from the time that he was vice president through 2 terms, through all of Trump's presidency. He has been talking about taking away our guns forever. I don't know where he could possibly get the opinion that he never said those things.
The other ones are putting out there are simply a lie.
Your voice.
And now he's saying that those videos aren't real. What are we expecting, deep fakes from CNN? Yeah, sure.
You said that you're taking a gun.
Well, he just clarified it.
Wait. Take your AR.
So now he's doing the pointing thing, and Union Man here is really not going to take kindly to that.
Your AR-14s are what...
Okay, this is...
Hang on, we gotta go back for a sec. Oh, fuck.
Take your AR-14s are what...
Okay.
You heard that, right? He's going to take away your AR-14s. So, my several AR-15s and my AR-10 in my safe, they're totally fine. Don't worry, guys. The AR-15s and AR-10s are safe. It's just those evil, dirty, rotten AR-14s. Don't worry, it's all under control. This man clearly knows what he's talking about.
This is not okay.
Hold on.
All right.
Hey, let's
Don't tell me anything, pal. I'm gonna go outside.
There's a lot of guys.
Hang on, so we need to replay that back. So Biden has been pointing at this man and just right up in his face, and if someone was doing that to me, I'd be a little upset. I have a lot of self-control and I'm very stable. You know, when I carry a gun, I'm much more polite of a person, but this guy has much more strength than I do, and I respect him for it. So let's go back just a few seconds.
Don't tell me anything, pal. I'm gonna go outside.
You want to go outside with me? This senile old coot is challenging this man to a fight? Like, what are you thinking, bro? What is going on in this man's head? Clearly, he has no idea where he is. His handlers need to get control of him. Oh my god. So at that point, the video pretty much wraps up, and it is just one of those things that... How are people still thinking they want to vote for Joe Biden? Why is the Democratic Party still running him? They're clearly not going to let Bernie win, so it's clearly going to be another instance of establishment Democrat versus Trump. And while I don't like Trump as a whole, or in some of his policies, I don't see Biden winning, and it's going to look like another 4 more years of Trump. So do with that as you may. I don't know, just... So... If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, like, comment, whatever. Let me know what you think. If you have any things that you saw that I missed in this video, let's talk about it, because I tried to look through and I didn't see many people talking about some of the specifics that I saw in this video. So if you have any questions, let me know. If you want to share this video, that would be much appreciated. That is the only way for me to grow on this platform, is through external sharing, because YouTube obviously does not want people like me to exist on this platform. If you have any questions, if you have anything you want to talk about, drop a comment below. Feel free to reach me on any of my other social media. Peace.